I had a doctor's appointment, diagnosed with endometriosis. Pre-operation appointment. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. For those who know me and those who don't know me, my name is Brittany, and I'm back with another video.
Don't play with it, don't be dishonest.
So today, after leaving work, I went to the doctor. I had a doctor's appointment, and that doctor's appointment was a pre-operation appointment. So let me just backtrack a little bit, give it a little bit of history. So last year, December, I was not feeling well. I had a couple symptoms that made me uncomfortable. And so going into the doctor and them kind of knowing my medical history and everything, because they had me do an ultrasound. No, when they told me to do the ultrasound, in my mind, I'm like, shit. Excuse my language. In my mind, I'm like, I already know what the results are gonna be, right? So when the results came out after the ultrasound, it says I have endometrium. And so that's when I was diagnosed with endometriosis, right? No, though what they found wasn't big, it was kind of small, it was still worrying for me because it was like an answer to a lot of things that I was going through. I was feeling pain, like eating certain food that wouldn't normally affect me. For example, pizza. Usually I could eat pizza, but at the time, eating pizza, fries, like anything that was fatty or like things that were fried, stuff like that, processed food, they would cause me like severe amount of pain to the point where I would cry. And being here in Canada, where in Saskatoon, where them time there it cool because it was winter, and if you don't know Saskatoon weather, I don't know that it gets up to like minus 40 degrees Celsius up here, right? So being out in that cold would cause me like cramps, like some severe cramps. And I know like some women, like whoever out there have endometriosis, they probably can understand the type of pain I'm gonna feel, right? But it wasn't like pain that I felt while during my cycle. No, it was like I wouldn't be on my cycle, and the moment I was cold, if my body was cold, I'd be in excruciating pain. So I remember I was working at a fast food restaurant, and being like, when I went back, it was like working in the kitchen because the kitchen was warm, it was hot. And then at one point I ended up having to work up front, which is as a cashier and serving food and stuff like that. And I remember one day I worked a drive-through and it was cold that day, and little breeze touched my body and I am shivering in pain. Like I had to be in the kitchen around the fry station just so my body could warm up so the pain could go away. I feel like I'm gonna cry just talking about it. Whew. But yeah, like that's what I was going through, and that's what I was struggling with for like months since last year December. It's like no, December again, so it's been a year, right? And so I was going through that, struggling with that, and I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and I was like stressed out about it because the first thing people say when I bring that up is, oh, I know X, Y, and Z person who did have this and I can't have kids. And it's like, it just feel like there's no future for me kids wise, right? and it was like stressing. So that was stressing me out. The pain and everything that it just came with was stressing me out, right? So couldn't have a caffeine, couldn't have any type of alcohol in my system, couldn't have a lot of things, couldn't be cold. It was like so stressing. Like I remember going home, and every single day I went home, I had to run a hot bath and just soak my body in there every single night. And I know, like, yeah, that may sound relaxing and fun. And I mean, sometimes it was, but sometimes it's like I'm in so much pain that it didn't feel fun for me. But being in that hot tub, like running that hot bath, sitting in the water, and it's just super hot, that's kind of what would put me out of my misery. Because I remember going to the doctor and saying, hey, the pain meds that I'm taking, it's not working. I was on naproxen, I was on Advil, I was on ibuprofen, I was taking acetaminophen, I was taking Motrin, I was taking Tylenol. I was mixing and matching so much pain meds, and I would say to the doctor, not my family doctor, like whatever an emergency would come up pertaining to my endometriosis, and I would rush to the ER, and I'd say like, yeah, I'm in pain, this isn't working. I remember one doctor just saying to me, oh, just take the naproxen with the Tylenol. And I'm like, don't you think I've been trying a lot already? Like that was when I kind of realized that my body requires a higher doses of pain medicine than what they think it requires, right? So struggling with pain, nothing would work, my meds won't work. And then it was like, at one point I was prescribed some meds to take for it, not for the pain but for other symptoms. And at first it worked, and then I would feel okay-ish for about a month, and then the next month back to square one. And then when they prescribe the same meds they prescribed the last time, because they're like, oh, it worked, then it doesn't work again. And so it's like always coming up with new things that could try to benefit me and that would work for me and stuff like that, right? So it was like always like stressing for me. And not to mention the stress of the job that I had at the time. Like I was under so much stress, and I feel like that was one of the reasons that I developed anxiety, and like as well as like other factors, of course. But like going through all of that, having external factors as well contributing on top of all of that, it was like super stressing for me. I developed anxiety, and I then had, diagnosed with anxiety, and I was on medication for that as well. And I mean, at first I felt so embarrassed about it. Like, I don't want to tell people I have anxiety at all. I used to be scared when I feel my body getting anxious, because I'm like, shit, is this, ooh, I need to control about, but like, is this another panic attack? Am I having another panic attack? And I'd be super embarrassed when those would happen, like, right? Because I don't know the stigma around it. I didn't want to feel like people see me in a certain type of way. And so if I had a panic attack, I would feel crappy afterwards, because I'm like, shoot, these people saw me in this state, right? And I remember when I was going to school early this year, I was taking a course, and one day I had this panic attack, and the administrative staff, they were super awesome. They kind of like helped me get over it, and know the panic attack wasn't because of tests or anything. I don't know what triggered it. I think what triggered it was the fact that I had one the day before or so, I don't remember, but probably that, and my body was just anxious for a while. And so it wasn't like, because I found my schoolwork super easy. It was easy to me. It was a no-brainer for me. So that was what triggered it. I don't know at the time what triggered it, but I just know it happened. I rushed out of class, ran towards, I just remember running towards the office and just dinging the bell that they had until someone came out, saw what was happening, and kind of helped me through that. And it was after that I went on medication for it, because it was kind of happening a bit too frequently, back to back, right? So, like, just to show you, and then on top of that, I was still trying to do YouTube and everything, and you know, I just wasn't feeling 100%, and that's kind of why I took a break, guys, right? So yeah, I had the stress of all of that. I had people who did not, like, people in my life who just did not understand what I was going through. Because of that, I kind of distanced myself from people who didn't even try to understand what I was going through, right? And to be honest, that's the best thing I've ever done. But you know, I mean, at my previous job, I had a couple co-workers who kind of understand, and when I was kind of getting there, they would help me to regulate my anxiety and everything. And then I kind of got control of it when I was on meds for it. And like I said, guys, like, it was super embarrassing for me. And that's, I mean, I had someone in my life who said, don't mention it to anyone. And that kind of also made me feel like this is something I should be hiding. And it wasn't until leaving that job, meeting new people at a different job, and at the job that I'm working now, that I realized, gosh, I am not going to cry on this thing. Whew. Whew. It wasn't until then that I realized that it's okay to be anxious. It's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to be different. It's okay to feel a certain type of way. Because I had coworkers who had ADHD, and I've met people who also have anxiety and everything. And it's not something to be ashamed of. My endometriosis wasn't something to be ashamed of. Like, you know, and like, I've also been on TikTok. I've watched YouTube where other people talk about their journey with endometriosis and everything like that, and it kind of helped me to realize it's not something that I need to be ashamed of. And you know, throughout it all, I feel like my dad was one of my biggest supporters, because when, like, all right, so I have this thing where as soon as I feel like I am overwhelmed and I'm stressed about something in my life, I'll call my dad and I'll cry to my dad over the phone. And you know, he's kind of the one to talk me through stuff a lot of the times. And so, I mean, when I had endometriosis, I let my dad know. And I remember telling my dad that, you know, this is what they say, can't have kids. And my dad says, no, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Nothing's impossible with God. And, you know, I feel like he's one of my biggest supporters, right? And so just having that, and sometimes I keep reminding myself, nothing is impossible, nothing is impossible, nothing is impossible, right? So yeah, guys, so that's how it was for me. I was going through something else physically, something else mentally, right? So I feel like I even gone off track, but anyways, so I've been waiting since last year to see a specialist, a gynecologist specialist. And it wasn't until last month, mid-November, that they finally contacted me to come see a specialist, right? To see the gynecologist. Bear in mind, 11 months after. It's like 11 months, couple days after I was diagnosed with it, right? That's how long I ended up having to wait. And going there, I remember the lady just saying to me that surgery, like, that's what I'll have to do. And I kind of figured that out from day one, because the same day that they confirmed that that's what I have, start Google, start do my research, start watching YouTube videos. And so kind of already known the surgery, watch different type of surgery procedures that they do for that condition, and how, you know, and all that. I kind of like already educated myself on it all. So going to her and she just confirming that, yeah, surgeries would have to do and all that. Had to go do some blood work, had to do another ultrasound because we wanted to check, right? If anything changed, so whether or not the endometrium has grown, shrunk, what happened, right? And I mean, after taking that break, because when I took the break from YouTube, I didn't just take the break from YouTube. I took a break from a lot of stuffs. I took a break from social, kind of socializing a lot. Yeah, I took a break from that. I took a break from anything that I felt was just stressing me. Anything I felt that was weighing me down, and anyone I feel that just didn't understand me, wasn't trying to help me to be better. I just took a break from them and then kind of like analyze my life, analyze what's going on in my life, and how do I move forward with everything. And then, I mean, since last year as well, I've kind of been working on my diet because I kind of knew what I wasn't supposed to have, and I knew what triggered those pains. And so I would stay clear of certain food. And then, I mean, there were certain food that I'm not supposed to eat because it could contribute to having the cyst grow. And so I would either stay clear from it altogether, or I would eat certain things in proportion until, I think it wasn't until close to the end of this year where I was able to have a glass of wine and feel okay. And I wasn't in pain from just having a glass of wine, right? And it was refreshing. It was a refreshing feeling. It felt great. And it wasn't until October where I was able to have a little bit of caffeine in my coffee, because I couldn't have coffee. I couldn't have caffeine. So girl couldn't have coffee. So what I started doing was making my own coffee at home. I had decaf, and I had this Blue Mountain coffee that my mom, well, stepmom, but I say mom because she's my mom to me, but that she gave me last year. And so what I did was I took some decaf, mostly decaf in my coffee, and then like a half a spoon of the coffee that had caffeine, and mix that together. And that's how I had my coffee for the longest time, so that it wouldn't do anything to me. Like, I wouldn't feel pain, whereas before, if I tried that, I would be in excruciating pain. And I've since then, since taking a break from everything, I've just felt better. I haven't had any form of anxiety. And I remember going into the job that I'm doing right now, where I'm working with kids with special needs, I remember people saying like, oh, are you sure you're not gonna have an anxiety attack? And I'm like, I don't think so, because for me to have an attack, it has to be something that attacks me. Like, it has to attack me emotionally for that to happen. And to be honest, I've had that. I've had things that affect me emotionally, and I still haven't had a panic attack. I've been working with these kids, and I've never had a panic attack. I've never felt so overwhelmed to where that happens. And I mean, I've been in situations since working where I'm like, I don't know what to do. And to be honest, I haven't had any panic attack. In fact, I would resort to laughing. I just stop laughing. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm just laughing now, right? So that's what's been going on, and I'm super, super happy that I am in that space mentally. Like, I feel so much better mentally and emotionally and physically. So did an ultrasound recently after the gynecologist recommended that. Did blood work. Don't know blood work results up until now. I guess I forgot to ask about it today when I was at the doctor's office. But the reason I didn't ask was because my brain was so overwhelmed with the new information that I got. So guys, all right. How am I gonna say this? So I am supposed to do surgery next week, Tuesday. So today is what? Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 5 days. 5 days until my surgery to remove that endometriosis. And doing my I went in today for a pre-operation form to be filled out by my family doctor. And I sat there waiting, and he came in and he said, "What's the surgery for?" So I told him, and he goes, "You sure?" And I'm like, "What do you mean if I'm sure? That's what I was told. What kind of information you get?" So he mentioned to me that he thinks it's just to test. And I'm like, "That's what?" Like, they told me they're going to take out something. This is like, that's what I'm going in for. And he said, "No, that's not happening." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Him said, "I need to call him and confirm if I'm still doing that surgery because the cyst gone. Like, it disappeared." And I'm like, "What?" You're joking, right? Because like I was so shocked. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know if I wanted to cry. I didn't know if I wanted to smile. Like, I even coming home in the Uber, like I zoned out completely. Like, my stomach was in knots. I'm so overwhelmed with emotions. Like, I don't know how to feel. Because after going so long with it, struggling so long with it, what felt like I was struggling by myself so long with all that I was going through. And then to hear that, it was like, wow, look at God, right? So, I mean, I pray about it a lot. And I remember the last time that I went to the emergency room for complications that happened because of it, and the stress that I went through with that one visit. Because, guys, I remember I was supposed to be at work. I'm dressed in my work uniform. And that's when the chaoticness started, and I realized I needed to seek medical assistance because that was an emergency. And it was so stressing because, I mean, there are people at my workplace who didn't understand the extent of what I was going through because I don't talk about it a lot with people, right? And so they didn't understand it all. And they just thought, "Oh, she's calling in. Like, she can come." No, I was in the emergency, guys. I remember I got suspension, right? I remember crying that day, hearing I got a suspension, crying my eyes out because I'm like, I've always been such a good, like, whoever know me from high school days know that I don't get in trouble. I've never been in trouble for anything. Like, my dad, I hate being in trouble, like, with authoritative figure. Like, school, I've never gotten suspension from school. Nothing at all. Like, girl was good student all the way up. Every single job that I've been, I've always been a good person. Girl, not getting in trouble. And so I was like, suspension for going into the ER? And guys, to show you, I've never been to the University Hospital. It's the closest hospital to me. Usually I go all the way downtown to city. The way how it was with me, I had to rush to the nearest hospital. That's what it was. And to hear that that I got a suspension for seeking medical attention, I was like bawling my eyes out because I'm in pain, I'm having complications, bawling my eyes out because girl just gets suspension for being sick and everything like that, right? So yeah, like, it was such a stressing day. I'm telling you, the stress that I've been through for just having this sickness, like, I don't want to understand because a lot of people don't understand it. And I feel like some people just hear it and they just know that, oh, endometriosis probably just mean you can't have kids. That's all they think it is, but they don't know it comes with other complications. They don't know it comes with other symptoms and stuff like that. They don't educate themselves on it. And some people that think that, oh, I have something like that, but or I have the same thing. But guess what? Your symptoms may not be mine. Your experience may not be mine. And a lot of people did not understand that. So they did not understand me and they didn't take the time to do so. So after that, I told my doctor, I was in the ER, bawling my eyes out to the nurse because, and then finally seeing the doctor, I'm just bawling my eyes out to the doctor like, I'm tired of this. If you can just, I was so fed up that day. I was like, if you can just take out my entire womb, every single thing, just dash it where I want a normal life. I want my life back because I felt like, and I also told him about my work, what happened, and he said, no, that cannot happen. Like them, you need to. So he wrote me a letter, a sick note thingy, and I gave that into my job, and it was like I was at a cross. I felt like I was at a crossroad because it's like my health was also deteriorating. I was stressed, and my health just kept deteriorating. I was starting to go into a stage of depression because I was in my room. I wouldn't come out. I wouldn't eat. Like I was getting so depressed, and no one, it's crazy because no one around me noticed. Not a single person. I was getting so depressed. I was stressed. I was depressed, and no one, not a single soul. I was having anxiety attacks in the middle of the night. Thank God I always had my pills, so I was able to just take one and it would knock me out. And that's how I was coping for about a month. And so when all that happened with getting suspension, being in the air, all them something there, and then when my sick day was up, the doctor's note, sick leave thingy was up, I just quit my job because I'm like, I can't do this. You guys don't understand. And it's like, if I call in again, I'm gonna get a suspension. So even though they revoked the suspension that I got, it was like, if I call in again, I probably get another suspension because I'm supposed to be at work and my sick note said until this day. But even though the note said, oh, I must come back on whatever day, on that day I wasn't feeling great. So I just sent in my resignation and just done there because that was taking up like too much of my headspace. Like me did I stress about other things I didn't want to be stressing about my job too. And I was like, you know what, I can just find somewhere else that won't put me through this. And so like that's kind of one of the reasons I'm happy with the job that I'm in right now, because I have sick days, and if I'm sick, I'm sick. I remember showing up to work and ended up going home because girl sick. Like that's just how it is. If you're sick, you're sick. Nothing you can do. And I have sick days now. I can take a sick day and I'm still gonna get paid for it. That's what these sick days are for. So if I'm genuinely sick, and I don't usually say I'm sick if I'm not sick. That's not how I am. If I'm sick, I'm sick, right? Because I've had a couple days where I show to the job that I'm at right now. I've had a couple days where I have a cough and a cold and my body feel weak, and I still show up to work because I'm like, I'm not that sick. It's not that serious. I mean, I feel weak and I feel like crap, but I can make it through the day, right? So if I'm not sick, I'm not gonna call it in sick. But if I'm sick, I am going to. So, yeah, so did that. After leaving that job, I was stressed out as heck. Like, stressed, depressed, going through the motions and everything. And just stressed about what was going on with my body internally and not being able to share it with anyone, because I felt like I didn't have anyone there for me really. Like my dad, my stepmom, well, my mother, she was there all the way back in Jamaica. I don't really have that much, right? And so yeah, that's how I felt. And so I decided to take this other job just for the summer. And after the summer done and school up and back, I just started the job I'm in now. So yeah, and then I just took a break from everything, figured out my life, and yep. I feel like the story of me just told it all over the place, and honestly, I don't know where I started, where I sidetracked, like just to show you how chaotic it is. And it's all just so chaotic in my brain right now. Like there's no timeline in my brain. It's just all like this. But yeah, so I'm super happy today just to hear that I may not have to do the surgery, because I've never done surgery before, right? And just to hear that, I mean, even if I had to do the surgery, it wouldn't be like surgery. It would be just so that they can test to see if there's a likelihood for me to get it back and how to prevent it from coming back, right? And I mean, I've prayed about it a lot. I know my parents pray about it a lot, my dad especially, and he prays for me every day. My grandma, my cousin, I remember my cousin sent in, so because my aunt's a pastor, and they were having this like a prayer meeting, and my cousin sent in a request for me, for them to pray for me, and that was earlier this month. And so to find out now that boom, there's no sign of it, I am ecstatic, I am happy, I am overjoyed. Like I mean, I've always prayed and hoped that because when the gynecologist was saying I should do another ultrasound, like the whole time I was praying and hoping that they find nothing. I don't want anything to be there, like just find nothing. And so to see that happening now, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I am happy. Like, guys, it's hard and to explain how I feel. And so today when I saw my doctor say, well, I heard my doctor say, well, we need to change this diagnosis, and then saw him remove my endometriosis diagnosis, it felt great. It just felt awesome. Like, I felt great. And I mean, not to saying that I didn't feel good before. Like, physically, I have been feeling great. I haven't had cramps. I haven't felt pain in a while, since September. That was the last time I felt pain or had any symptoms that had to do with that. And so for it to feel like it's finally, like, it's kind of like, like when you go through some type of sickness and then you beat it. That's how I feel. Like, I feel happy. And I mean, I've been feeling healthier lately. I have been. I'm not depressed. I live alone. I enjoy being alone. I enjoy my own company. Like, I haven't been depressed. I haven't felt anxious. I haven't had any anxiety attack. I've just been feeling so happy. And every single day I go to work, I am laughing. Like, these kids that I work with each day, they make me laugh. The staff is awesome. My coworkers are awesome. There's never ever a dull moment. There's never drama. There's never anything. It's just all vibes and fun and laughter right through. So yeah, I am happy. And I mean, in my personal life, am I happy as well? Hell yeah. I am. And it's been a while since I've been able to say that I'm happy and meant it. And yeah, I do. And it feel good, guys. I'm telling you, it feel good. So I'm glad I took that break. I'm glad I'm back. And I know I promised you guys 2 videos a month, but this month, because of how happy I am, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more. You know what? Miss up telling a lie. Let me not, because but I don't want to say that and then it don't happen. Something come up. But yeah, so if I am doing surgery, you guys will be seeing that in my next video. If I'm not doing surgery, you guys will hear about it in my next video. But yeah, that is it for this video. If you guys, I know it's a long video, man. If you guys have stayed through to the end, big ups to Unu. Like, thank you so much. Love Unu, bad. All of my supporters who have been there since day one. All my subscribers who did not leave. All of you guys who stayed and stick by me since day one. Me love Unu bad. Love Unu like cook food. But yeah, so that is it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. That's an insight on how my life has been the past year, health wise. I know I don't share a lot on this channel, but I mean, it's my experience with this. And I mean, I feel like if there's anyone else out there who's suffering from something, like, it's gonna be okay. You're going through endometriosis. Like I've said before, if you have it, my experience may not be yours, right? But at the same time, just know that, I mean, if you're ashamed of it, it's okay. You don't need to be. And I've found that a lot of women, they have similar things. I'm like, I'm not the only one, right? And you're not the only one. So don't be ashamed. It's not something to be ashamed of. And if you have anxiety, don't be ashamed of it. It's not something to be ashamed of, right? It's something you can get over. And so yeah, I haven't been, like, I think I got over it. I don't know. I think because I've been off meds for 3 months. I've been off 3.5 months. Yeah, 3.5 months I've been off meds for my anxiety, and I haven't had anything. And I guess a part of that is just because taking a break to figure out my life and just cutting off things that were not healthy for me, both food wise and people wise and situationship wise and all something new wise. Yes, so that's what I did, guys. And I mean, if you're going through it, it's okay. You can do it. And yeah, just believe in yourself, trust the process. And one thing I haven't done either is I have not told anyone about what I'm like. For example, surgery and everything. I think there's only like 3 people. No, I think there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 people. 6 people that I've told that I'm going to do surgery and all of that. Like, I've told no one else. And the reason I did that was I had a dream that, I mean, me chat too much. That's basically it. Just that certain things in my life I should not let certain people know. Like, I just need to keep it to myself and pray on it, because a lot of things work best when you just keep it to yourself. And I mean, if you don't say it out loud, how the devil go hear it, and you cannot, bad man cannot, stop your progress. So I just kept it to myself, and yeah, so I'm happy. And you guys probably won't see this video until maybe after I do surgery, and then that is if I do surgery. And if I don't, I'm gonna see it before. If I am doing it, then I'm gonna see it after I do surgery, and then we'll see the surgery video way after this one. So yeah. So that's how I'm going to do it, because I don't want anyone to really see until it's done or until it's confirmed. Because guys, I'm telling you, putting certain things out there, it can attract a lot of bad energy. So yeah. But if you like that video, I get long and I chat way too much. So you know what I'm gonna do? Girl, I'm gonna just end the video right here. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I feel like I said that already, but I love you guys so much. And if you haven't subscribed already, what is you doing? What are you doing? Like, go hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you can know when I post another video, because girls gonna try to be a little bit more consistent. So love you guys so much, and see you guys on my next video. Peace out.
I said,